What's up everyone, I'm Dan and thanks to Numbskull Games for the review code. I'll be looking at Folly of the Wizards on the Nintendo Switch. Folly of the Wizards is a comedic 2D roguelite that puts you in the shoes of a clumsy wizard apprentice trying to stop a demon invasion. The setup is fun, you're part of this wizarding cult, and you've got to stumble your way through procedurally generated dungeons, use unpredictable spells, and face off against weird and wonderful enemies. The art style is charming, bright, colourful, cartoonish, and full of personality. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and honestly, I love that. You've got 4 different wizards to pick from, each with their own quirks, and there are loads of relics, tomes, and scrolls to experiment with. On paper, it's got everything you'd want from a roguelite: tons of bosses, multiple endings, a bunch of biomes, and plenty of crazy item combos to discover. Let's get this out of the way first of all, because it's the first thing you'll encounter when you boot up the first stage. The controls are a little weird. The jump button is mapped to L, not A or not B, and it feels so unnatural. There's also no button remapping, so it's something you'll just have to get used to, and after a while you will, but I feel like the option should have been there to change this. The dash system on the other hand works really well. You can dash in any direction using the ZL button, which is great for dodging projectiles or repositioning in tight spots. Mastering the dash also feels like the key to survival, especially with that jump button. Like any roguelite, Folly of the Wizards is tough. There are 22 bosses in the game and they do a good job of pushing you to adapt. But there's also this annoying quirk that you may come across. When you beat a boss, some of the hazards they left behind stay on the floor and they still hurt you. So you've just pulled off this hard fight, you're celebrating, and then you step on something trying to collect your loot and die. It's infuriating. That's kind of the story with a lot of the hazards in this game. They're not always easy to spot, and that makes some of the challenge feel unfair. Pair that with controls that aren't as tight as they could be, and you're left wondering, am I losing because the game is testing me? Folly of the Wizards absolutely nails the roguelite loop. Each run feels different thanks to the 130 plus relics, tomes and scrolls you can pick up. Relics gives you buffs, tomes change the element of your basic attacks, and scrolls add powerful cooldown abilities. Finding synergies between them can be a lot of fun, and it definitely scratches that what's next itch. And because runs are fairly quick, losing doesn't feel as devastating as it could do. You'll probably shrug it off, jump back in, thinking maybe the next run will be the one where everything clicks. That addictive one more try vibe is definitely here. Here's the catch though, there's no real sense of progression. A lot of modern roguelites give you permanent upgrades or some kind of long-term reward for your effort. Folly of the Wizard doesn't. So every time you die, you're back to square one. Folly of the Wizards is a quirky, funny roguelite with a lot of charm. It's got colourful visuals, some clever design ideas, and plenty of variety in items, bosses and endings. But the execution sometimes stumbles. The awkward controls, the sometimes unfair hazards, and the lack of meaningful progression really hold it back from being great. For me, Folly of the Wizards was enjoyable once I got used to the controls and got used to the gameplay loop. I would have loved a progression system, but the game challenges you without one. So if you're a hardcore roguelite fan who loves experimenting with crazy builds, you will find enough here to keep you entertained. Folly of the Wizards is out now on the Nintendo eShop, priced at $22.99 in the UK and $29.99 in the US. Big thanks once again to Numbskull Games for the review code. Thanks to you all for watching, hope you enjoyed the review, and until next time.